So this video is going up late today. I swear I have a good excuse. Maybe. Hi guys, it's Steffi from the Novelty Corner. Welcome back to my channel. I'm going to apologise for this video being a little bit late going up today because, well, this weekend has just been nuts. And in fact, the entire week leading up to this week has been nuts. So normally I would film my wrap-ups on a Sunday. However, this weekend I spent all of Saturday at Oz Comic Con and came back absolutely shattered. I filmed a haul from Comic Con and then I was watching it back and I'm just going, I can't use any of the footage. It was really, really terrible. So I'm going to be refilming that today so that that goes up this week for you guys. Then yesterday on Sunday, I also spent the entire day at my parents' house looking after their dog because my sister's just bought an apartment and they've spent the whole weekend there painting and they didn't want to leave him alone for a few days in a row. So I went over there and I basically couldn't take anything with me to film there, and I spent pretty much the whole day on the couch watching American Gods, which I've finished and I really enjoyed. So maybe that counts as a wrap-up. But anyway, that's a long rambling excuse to get into my weekly wrap-up for the week of June the 25th until July 2nd, which is a day longer than I would normally count, but because Saturday was such a write-off, I'm including Sunday as well and starting this week from today. Does that make sense? I've got no idea. I think I might have just confused everyone. Apologies. This week I read 5 books. I read a total of 1,830-ish pages. I say ish because one of the ebooks that I read, I can't find a total page count for it, so I think it's roughly around 200 pages. My yearly reading total is now up to 127 books, which I'm super, super pleased with. And yeah, let's get into the reading wrap up. The first book that I read this week, or that I finished off this week, because I actually started this the weekend previously, was Shadowrun by Adrienne Strickland and Michael Miller. This is a young adult science fiction book about a crew of people set on a spaceship. And honestly, this book is a little bit forgettable for me, which is really, really upsetting because I love this cover. It gives me such big Firefly vibes. And yet I spent most of the time wishing that it would get somewhere and do something. And it took a very long time to do that. And to be perfectly honest, the plot is so forgettable that I've forgotten most of it in a week. And what I do know is there were some really cool ideas that happened in it. So there's this crew and they've taken on a new crewmate who they don't entirely trust because he's just a little bit shifty and not quite what he seems. But he's joined the crew to get close to the captain of the ship, who is rumoured to have this ability to access shadow, which is something that people can collect in outer space, but prolonged exposure to it means an infection, and shadow does strange things to people's bodies, and yet this captain seems to be able to harness most of it and use it to further her business. Things go from there, and there's space pirates and capturing and royal space families and business gone wrong, and towards the end there's some really good fighting scenes and it's quite gory and I liked that, but that was about all that I liked. I just wish there'd been a little bit more substance to the characters. It took me a long time to feel connected to any of them. So this got a 2.75 stars. Yeah, I don't know if I'll continue with this series. Then I read the second book in the No Ordinary Star series by MC Frank, and that was No Plain Rebel. This book was sent to me for review as part of MC Frank's street team, and I'm very grateful for that because I am enjoying this series. Because it's the second book in the series, I won't go too much into it, except to say that it does continue the journey of Felix, who was once a loyal soldier, and Astra, who was the match girl that Felix met in the middle of the Arctic, or an Arctic-like environment. And the two are trying to uncover the secrets of the Clockmaster, whose hut they have stumbled upon. The good thing about this book was it actually developed the world a little bit more, and you get to see the motives behind a lot of what's going on. A lot of the secrets or the past histories of these characters are revealed, so you get to know the characters a little bit more, which is really great. You can start to see where everyone's loyalties lie and their motivations and what they would like to do and what they would like to achieve. So highly enjoying this series. I'm looking forward to the second book, which is released in November. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. Just a really enjoyable, easy to read science fiction series. Check it out. Then I read Thrawn by Timothy Zahn, which is part of the Star Wars Expanded Universe, or the new Star Wars Expanded Universe, and I think this might be my new favourite Star Wars book because, quite frankly, Thrawn is an awesome character. For those who aren't familiar, Thrawn in the original series was or is, I should say, because it's the same character, is a member of an alien race known as the Chiss, I think. I may not be pronouncing that right because who knows with Star Wars names, but he rose to the rank of Grand Admiral in the Imperial Navy under the Emperor. And this book is his story of how he got from being a nobody to a somebody in the Imperial Society, and it was fantastic because he's such a scheming, plotting, intelligent character, and it was absolutely delightful to see everything that he's doing. In the previous books that I've read with him as a character, he's been the antagonist in the series, and in this, he's not. He's the main character of his own story, so we see everything through his perspective and the perspective of the ensign that he is assigned as an aide, Ensign Vanto. And so the motivations are really awesome because you're seeing his perspective. He's working for the Empire, but he's also trying to do good. And so it's really cool when you have those stories where you're on the side of the enemy, but you actually see why they're doing what they're doing, if that makes any sense. Anyway, it is about his rise from being someone that is picked up off an alien planet as a stowaway, and then how he rises through the Imperial Navy ranks and the waves that he causes, because not only is he unorthodox in his methods, he's also an alien in an Imperial society where, while they're not supposed to be xenophobic, they really are, and so he's judged down for that, and the impact that has on those people around him. So 5 out of 5 stars, one of my favourite reads of the year so far. I really hope Timothy Zahn does write some more books about Thrawn in this new universe because it was really interesting and I really enjoyed it. The 4th book that I read this week was Lose Me, also by MC Frank, and also sent to me for review as part of her street team. And this is a new adult contemporary book. The premise is kind of cool because it is the story of a film crew that is going to shoot a modern day retelling of Pride and Prejudice on the Greek islands. A lot of the crew have been brought over there, but one of the main characters, Ari, is a local girl and she has been hired as the stunt girl for the film because there are a lot of scenes that are being shot in the water, and the lead actress who's playing the Lizzie character doesn't do water, so she's not going to be involved in any of those. And it is the story of how she meets the lead actor in the movie who's playing the Mr. Darcy character, and how they have this really hate to love type of relationship, and that was really cool. There are also a whole lot of other subplots that are going through the story. So one of the main characters gets quite sick. One of the main characters has to deal with being in the spotlight all of the time. One of the side characters has an overbearing show business parent, which was really interesting to read about. And the story sort of takes place in these segments. So you have part 1, which is the filming of this movie, then part 2 that deals with the fallout of the character being sick, and then the next part deals with the fallout of everything else that has come before it. And it was really compelling to read. I gave it 4.5 out of 5 stars. I did really enjoy it. I read it in pretty much one sitting. It was just nice to read something that was new adult without being too new adult, and it wasn't science fiction, and I needed a break because while I was trying to read this, I was trying to read the next book that I'm going to talk about, and it honestly nearly killed me. So it was nice to have a break, and I really enjoyed that. I will say that if you're going in to Lose Me, just be aware that there is significant illness. There is a character who is going through some substance abuse issues, and there is a little bit of character codependence in there, which is fine because that's the reality. There are a lot of people in this world who are codependent on one another. So just be aware of that going into it. But overall, I did enjoy it. And if you're looking for a new adult read, go pick it up. And then there's the last book that I read. And this book took me forever to read. And that was Revenge by Alistair Reynolds, which I gave 3 out of 5 stars. It didn't disappoint me as much as Shadowrun did, but I feel like a good third of this book was completely unnecessary. So this is the story of 2 sisters who decide to leave their home planet and become crew members aboard the Monetta's Run as bone readers. So in this world, humans have gone forth out into the universe. They've populated different planets, and the ships that travel to and from different areas have an ancient skull on board their ship, and bone readers, who are typically between the ages of, I think, late teens to early 20s, connect with the skull and can actually interpret messages. So it's like a comm system in a really creepy way. I really like that aspect. I thought that was really cool. So the 2 sisters have been taken on as bone readers for the ship, and this ship goes out to previously occupied planets that have been wrapped in baubles, but only open at certain times. So their worlds have been completely sealed off. There's no life on there, but there are a lot of treasures and history and historical artifacts left there. So these ships go there, they try and collect them like scavengers and then on-sell them. After their very first job, the Monetta's Morn is attacked by the mysterious Boza Senon, and that sets this whole story off on a completely different path. Took me a while to connect to the main character, Fura, who is the younger sister of the two. Yeah, like I said, I think the first third or the first half of this book could have been condensed into a much more significant plot line, because it just, yeah, there's something about it. The end was really good. It's actually quite a bloody, quite a gruesome young adult science fiction read. I don't know why it has been classified as young adult, because it's, honestly, I think it is more adult. It's very dark, and there are some really cool side characters and some really cool elements to the story, but it felt like there was too much of everything going on. So you have whole different side plots happening and trying to be woven in and out, and it didn't work for me. I gave it a 3. There are a lot of elements that I really liked. I just wish it had been executed a little bit differently. And also, I hate these covers that have the little plastic thing on them, so that when you try and move them anywhere, it starts peeling up, because this has a really nice cover and it's just damaged now. It makes me sad. So those are the books that I read this week, plus 2 ebooks. I'm not going to hold up my other thing, but 5 books, that's pretty good. I'm really pleased that I finally got to read Thrawn, and I loved it, and it's just reignited my passion for reading the Star Wars books. I've still got a few more that I didn't get to in the month of June, but I will get there eventually. Let me know in the comments, what have you been reading in the last week or so? Anything stand out to you? Have you read any of the books that I've read? Do you agree, disagree? Let me know in the comments, because I'd love to chat to you about them. I hope that wherever you are in the world, you're having a wonderful day, and I will catch you guys next time. Thank you so much for watching. Bye guys.